Hello, in this tutorial I will show you how you can convert any HTML template into a CodeIgniter project. First of all, you have to download the CodeIgniter 3 from CodeIgniter site. I have already downloaded and store it in jams htdocs folder, and this is my CodeIgniter folder. And next step is to choose any free responsive HTML template. I have selected a template from Colorleaf. The template name is Delicious. If I open the file of this template, then this is a static template and all data is static here. I will convert this HTML template into a CodeIgniter template. Okay, two steps are done: CodeIgniter 3 folder and a HTML template. Now make a copy of CodeIgniter folder and rename the folder by your project name. So first of all, in htdocs, go to the htdocs, see jam htdocs and create a new folder. Suppose my project name is recipe word. Okay, this folder is blank now. Now I will copy all CodeIgniter necessary files in this folder. Okay, our all CodeIgniter files are copied here. Now go for the step 4. Copy all required folder from template folder to root folder. This is our template folder. You can select all the files or just folders that are required to run the template. Okay, I am selecting just folder and CSS files. Now copy and go to your project folder, and our project name was recipe word, and paste the content here. Okay, all necessary folder and CSS files of the template is copied. Now go for the next step, step 4. Add htaccess file on the root folder. The purpose of this file is to omit the path index.php from your route. So go to any HTML editor and create a new file. And remove the content and copy the line from step 5 to the new file and save the file as .htaccess in the project root folder. Choose all extension and file name as .htaccess. When you create any new CodeIgniter project, then it is necessary to use this file to remove the index.php part from the URL. Okay, our file is saved. Now go for the step 6. Create necessary database for your project. I have already created the database here. The database name is recipes, and there is only one table, recipe items. If I go to the structure, then you can see it has 6 fields: ID, title, preparation time, cook time, serve, and attribute. And I will retrieve the content from this table and display in this template. Okay. Now go for the step 7. After creating your database based on your project, Now set or configure the database connection. So now CodeIgniter database connection stored in database.php file. So open the file from the project location. Recipe world application config database.php. Okay, and here host name is localhost, username is root, password empty, and our database name is recipes. Save the file and go for the next step. Create a default controller with the following code. Copy, go to the editor and new file, php. Copy. Here now our controller name is recipe, and in the constructor is called the parent constructor, and URL helper file is loaded, and recipe model which will be created in the next step. And for database connection, load the database, and in the index section this method get all recipes, which will be created in the model class, and it will retrieve all table records from recipe items. And another file you need to I will need to create to view the content of the table data. Okay, first of all save the file as the name is recipe.php under controller folder. In this folder, recipe, must remember the class name and file name must be the same. Okay. Now go for the next step, create the model. Under model folder, our model file name will be recipe underscore model, and this is the class name which has two methods, get all recipes and get recipe details. This method will retrieve all records from recipe items table, and this method will use to retrieve any particular recipe from the table. Okay, save the file under model folder, application models, and model name must be same the class name. So model name will be recipe underscore model. Save and go for the step 10. Create a view file for the default controller by modifying the index.html. If I go to the template index.html, the contents look like this. So I will use this content and make this part dynamic by using table data. Okay, first of all I have to display this content using CodeIgniter route. So open the code of this file from my editor, which is under D drive delicious index.html. Okay. Select all, copy, and create a new file create a new file. Okay. The content of index.html is copied here. Now save the file as a view file, and our view file name will be recipe.php under view folder. Okay, C jam htdocs recipe world application views, and save the file here as recipe.php. Okay, after this I have to change the link of its images, CSS and JS file to make this active in our CodeIgniter project. So do the step 10 to correct this. If I examine the code, then you can see there is a CSS location, image location, and at the end of the file there are many JS file locations. So I have to link the CodeIgniter with the base URL with this file. We know all our image, CSS and JSS files are stored in the root folder in our previous step. So just copy this script and paste at the beginning of each link. And this is CSS, this is image, and every part of your temple make this modification. And I have JS file in the in part of the template, so you have to copy this script here also. Okay, in the similar way, search every link part and add this line at the beginning of the link. You save the file and go to the step 11, save the base URL and default controller. For this, you have to open the config.php file under application config.php. Base URL will be http localhost / your project folder name recipe word and remove this part index.php and save the file. And another thing, you have to choose from route.php, so open the route.php under config folder and go to the last part and change the default controller name to with your recipe controller. Okay, so when I will run the base URL, then it will call the recipe controller, and recipe controller will first of all call the get all recipe method of recipe model, and recipe models get all recipes method will return all recipe items from the table recipe items into this variable data recipe list, and this data is sent to the recipe view which is created in the earlier step. Okay, first of all check the default controller is working or not. So go to the browser and open the project from CodeIgniter folder. http localhost recipe word is our project folder name. Just enter it. Now you can see it is running from our CodeIgniter project, and it was our default template which is running from D drive, and this is running from recipe web. Now these parts are static here, so I will make this 6 recipe dynamic by using database data. If I examine the database, that there are 6 recipe titles: sushi recipe, beef burger. I will change this content by using this title data. Okay. To do this, go to the next step, step 13. Now create a folder image in root folder. You can use any existing folder. I will use a new folder for my images. And now if I check, the ID values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I will create 6 images to display 6 recipe images for corresponding record. I have already created the image and I will use this here. Our images is here. You can see all image names are using id1.jpg2.jpg. So I will copy all these 6 images and paste in my project root folder. This is images and paste here. Okay, and now it is pasted, and go for the next step, step 14. Modify the recipe view, which is created here. This part I want to modify, that is this section, the best recipes. So go to that section of your template where you want to change with dynamic data. Okay, this is our best recipe part, so I will modify this section from here to here. Paste line number 404 to line number 290. Just select the portion and delete the content. Save it, and if I refresh the page, you can see this part is empty now. Now I will fill up this section using database data. So to do this, I have added the code at this step 14. So copy the code and paste in this location. In this section, you can see one counter variable is used here, and for loop is used to read each record which is retrieved from the controller, from this controller recipe list. So this is iterated using for each, and when 6 records are read, then it will exit from the loop by using break. And each section, the title of the recipe is shown from the table title value. So here there is a link with each recipe is another controller I will create in the next step, post, and then another method in this controller details. I will explain this line later, and each recipe title will be shown from the table recipe items that is created here. So this value will be shown, and image will be shown from the image folder that I have created in the earlier step. Okay, save the file and refresh the page to see the change. You can see all recipe items come from our table. Sushi recipe, beef burger, Thai soup, these are displaying here, and these images are displaying from the folder that I have created in earlier step. Okay, now go for the next step and create another folder post to show each recipe content from the database with detail. So copy step 16, create a PHP file and save the file as post.php under controller folder. You can see this controller has one method, details, that will read the third part of the URL segment. That means ID value will be seen in the third segment. How this ID value is seen? if you want to see, then you can see when the title link will be clicked, then it will send post details and the row ID of that particular record. In this way, the third segment will contain the ID value. So this ID value is sent to the model method get recipe detail with ID, and recipe model get recipe detail will retrieve the particular record of that ID and return back to the post method details, and it is sent to another view file post detail, which is not created yet, and I will create in the next step. Okay, now go for the step 17. So create a new file, new view file. So for this I will use the content of my recipe post.html files. So open this file in the editor first, select all content, copy, and create the new view file post_details. And save the view file under view folder, and file name will be post_details. Okay, here you have to also change the link that I have changed in my previous view file, which is recipe post, for every CSS, image, and JavaScript link. Okay, save the file and go for the step 18. Add this content at the beginning of this view file. What is the function of this code? Here, for each loop is used to read the particular record based on the ID, which is sent from the post controller from detail methods, which is retrieved by details variable, which is used here, and all entries of the table field here, ID, title, preparation, cook time, served, and entry date, are stored in these variables, and these variables are used in the particular section where you want to display, and this is used in the div column section, column 8, and so find out the location where you want to set it. This part is used for this, so I will remove this content and set the div content from my script. Okay, save the file and check the controller, post controller is working or not. Refresh the page and click on beef burger. You can see the beef burger preparation time 15 minutes, cook time 10 minutes. You can database, you can see 15 minutes and 10 minutes. In the similar way, if I click on chicken soup, then it's showing chicken soup preparation time 15 minutes, cook time 20 minutes, chicken soup. So data are retrieving from this table. In this way, you can make every part of this template dynamic based on your requirement. Hope this will help to create your project. Thank you.